It's amazing that our podcast is still running and we haven't tried to kill each other yet.
I mean,
coming.
we've also been friends for, like, nearing on 4 years.
Yeah.
The reason we haven't tried to kill each other is because we haven't done a Kingdom Hearts episode.
We can't.
We can't.
We have to do it when we're ready for this thing to die.
When we want to kill this thing, we do a Kingdom Hearts episode.
Okay, what now?
Do we want to do it?
We just kind of sit.
Yeah, you just kind of sit and fuck around for a hot
until
second.
we're like,
I have
all
to
right.
just turn on my camera so you can see how I'm looking right now. Because this is the look of the day. Here's the microphone.
Oh, I was assuming, like, your pants pocket. That's way better.
Yeah, I was like, pants pocket audio is gonna sound like shit, but go off.
Yeah, like have a headline to all my farts that I'm trying to muffle because I'm being polite.
Oh, this episode's gonna be really good, huh? I think I say that about every episode. Every time, like, we
It's because we make good content.
yeah, but every time we upload an episode, I'm like, now this one's my favorite.
It's because it's shiny and new.
Yeah. I mean, I do have a special soft spot for Star Wars because it let me talk about the theme parks for an absurdly long amount of time.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to that one. That's the
It's
one
really
I'm gonna have to
good.
listen
It's
to.
very fun.
Oh, it's really good.
I don't
for
want to
some
talk
lore-
about God. I want to talk
yeah.
about tits.
For some lore, we recorded that one on January 1st, which means it was the day after Alex confessed to me and we were both in hell.
That's right. I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
what a fantastic mood for a podcast about Star
Yeah,
Wars.
you can't really tell, but knowing it makes
Oh, it's so
much.
I still can't believe we fucking did that.
I can't believe we did that to ourselves.
Just pretend like nothing's happening. And then I think Garfield was recorded, like, after we were dating for, like, a week.
Yeah.
Oh, the
smart.
chronology of Wikiboys sure is something.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome to Wikiboys, a podcast where three friends dive into the wonderful world of fandom wiki pages. I am your host, Alex, and I use he, him pronouns.
I'm Aster, and I use she and they pronouns.
And I'm Rook, and I use they, them pronouns.
I'm Milo, I'm the guest, and I use he, him pronouns.
Yay!
Yay! And we're going to go over the Magnus Archives today,
Yeah.
which is why Milo is here, because I haven't finished it yet.
Oh god, 1 second. Hang on, I got a bit. Yeah, so I'm just gonna do my best for all of this. I have not been given a script or something.
No.
God,
I
no.
have just been told, do this.
We just hurled you into a lake and asked you to swim to us.
Yeah, so I actually have a couple of notes here. Hang on.
Yeah, but Milo has a fucking physical notebook, apparently.
I do.
Which is so, like, that's way more than any of us ever prepare for this
Yeah,
podcast.
the most I prepare is I make a digital list of all the wiki links that I want to, like, present, and then that's
Or, like,
it.
I just bookmark them, yeah.
Yeah, I think the most I've ever done is I wrote the Horse Boys
God.
intro.
Yeah, so I would like to start by asking you guys how much you know about the Magnus Archives. Alex, I know, has listened to almost all of it. I myself have listened to all of it, but you, Rook and Aster, I would like to know. What's your experience with it?
I think I listened to, like, maybe 10 to 15 of the first episodes, and I just dropped off it, because I'm not too good with horror, and especially audio-only horror. Just, like, activates my imagination in the worst way possible.
Aster?
Gosh, okay, so I've never listened to it. I just follow a bunch of people on Twitter.
I do also follow a bunch
who
of people,
talk
so I
about
know
it.
some stuff.
And I also feel like there's a character in that who has the same name as a character. Oh, isn't there a Peter in the Magnus Archives? Which gets me very confused with Penumbra Podcast Peter.
God.
So it'll be like, oh, Peter, and I'm like, oh, cool, a fun post about Peter Nureyev. And then it's like, oh, and then the worms or whatever. And I'm like, what? Was there a Patreon-only episode I missed?
Peter Nureyev has worms.
So that's my experience, is getting Peter Nureyev confused for Peter Magnus Archives.
Yeah, so I would, you know that the Magnus Archives is a podcast. It is a horror podcast, and it is, I have written down that it is boring at first. That's my first note regarding...
Yeah, it was a little slow.
It's lengthy is the second thing I have written about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Magnus Archives is kind of like if the X-Files were British and also in audio form. I think that's a really good way to summarize it.
And go
ahead.
So the X-Files are just like a little horny, but Magnus Archives is a little bit hornier than that.
Does the X-Files have horny
A
in it?
little bit.
Oh yeah.
A little
Oh, I've never watched an
yes,
X-File.
I actually have also described the Magnus Archives as sexy British mental breakdown ASMR.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And that is kind of what it is. And as Alex mentioned, it is bizarrely horny for a podcast which at no point involves sex or mentions of, and barely has any romance whatsoever.
Wait, I know you've talked about it, but like, how horny does it get?
Okay, so
You've mentioned to us a few times. It's like, oh, haha.
Okay.
So in the traditional sense, it does not get horny.
Yeah.
But in the untraditional sense, it's fucking brewing at all times.
So do you want me to read, like, the 3 messages I sent to you at the point where I'm like, my neighbors must think I'm doing something awful here?
Oh, God?
I would love to.
Also, please stop making these little pained noses into the mic. I can't do it. I'm playing this on speaker. It really makes me worry about how thick my walls are. Do my neighbors think I'm keeping a tired British sub in my apartment?
Oh my god!
Yes. So the main character of the Magnus Archives is Jonathan Sims, who is voiced by Jonathan Sims. They opted to have the character have the exact same name as the voice actor, and the only way you can differentiate them is that the voice actor is called Johnny and the character is called John.
It's not confusing at all.
No,
Also,
totally not.
As a warning to our listeners, I assume we'll get into spoilers.
Just
before we
God,
get
right,
there.
yeah, so warning for spoilers up until, I'll say, late season 4.
Yeah.
I am keeping away from, so Alex actually has listened up to episode 156 out of 160, so he has not gotten to the biggest twist, so I will be not going into those. So, yes, it is a podcast about a guy, he's called Jonathan Sims, referred to as the archivist, who reads spooky stories. And it begins very, 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 very slowly, as well as having kind of poor audio quality. But it picks up around season 2, which starts at episode 41. So you have
I did find its original audio quality very charming.
Yeah, actually, so to
It very
those
much
who listen,
it's the beginning is very much like point of view. You are a microphone.
yeah, and like actually the reason that the Magnus Archives has a kind of buzzy, what this in the series referred to as a lo-fi quality of the tape recorders, is because the audio quality originally was so shit, so they had to cover it up by adding audio static. I actually have a picture of their original recording studio, which I will send. Let me see.
How's it hold up to my tape tower?
Oh God, it's quite similar. Hang on. I have not prepared an image, so give me a second to find it.
I guess if you took a look at my desk, you'd be like, maybe this person is an archivist.
Let me pull it up.
Oh, thank you.
You're valid. We have an editor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do not ever worry.
Oh, actually, I found it. So this is
God.
the original recording booth.
I'm gonna be faster than you.
You weren't.
Oh my lord.
Also called the recording yurt.
Oh my god, I can't imagine reading scary stories inside of that.
Recording
And I would
yurt
like-
is really good.
It's like a blanket. It's like a shitty
originally,
one-person blanket fort.
in the first season, it's mostly only one character talking, but with scenes of multiple characters talking. So I imagine they would squeeze into the yurt and talk.
Oh god, that's really special.
Yeah.
Imagine if we recorded Wikiboys like this.
The vibes
So
would
I
be
guess-
impeccable.
So for audio reference, what we are looking at is approximately half a couch covered in a blanket.
And there's like a shitty wood table in front of it.
There's a shitty wood table in front of it. I think it's held up by like half a curtain rod.
Probably.
It is absolutely impeccable. Imagine 3 people sharing half a
Actually,
couch under
maybe
a
that
blanket.
wood thing is a chair, and it's like held up by the back of the chair.
Oh god, yeah.
It
I
is
think it
very
is.
provisional, I would say, caveman chic type of recording.
I absolutely love the DIY shitty recording booths way more than professional ones. It's so charming. There's something about it.
Okay, so
Like me with my tape tower.
All right, do we
so
want to go
as-
into wiki? I'm gonna force you.
yeah, so I have actually written down a couple. So I was thinking either you can go into the wiki, which I will now be sending a link to, and you can
Yes.
find pages that you may be interested in, or I have a couple of articles which I have decided to give you so that you can talk about.
Oh, it has a cool logo now.
That's a different logo.
At least on the embed.
So Milo, I think the better way to go about this is just like you hand us pages because I don't know what I'm gonna find here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can say with absolute certainty, if I hit random page, I will probably get episodes more than anything interesting, because when I was listening, I would open up the wiki for episodes for transcripts to see if there were ones that I would think were too scary so I could skip them.
Okay, okay. So should I just assign based on vibe who gets the
Yeah, just
each
check
page?
shit at us.
Yeah, just give
Okay,
us
yeah.
that.
So I'm just gonna send all of them.
Oh god. So like in my brain, because you have like a notebook of notes,
Yeah.
I really just imagine you like having to type out these from your notes as opposed to like having them bookmarked or something.
You're not super far off. I will send a picture later when we are done.
That'll be the thumbnail.
I'm
Yeah.
so charmed that you made a physical notebook.
I mean, I already had it, so was just put
Yeah,
a
but
date
like
on
none
it.
of us have taken physical notes, and it's our podcast. Oh, what the fuck?
There's a poll.
I
on
actually
the
don't
front
know the context of this.
teeth.
Teeth?
Thank you for your vote. Esther, did you press yes, please, or was that already?
No, I
Um,
voted teeth. Yeah, actually. Oh no, I'm not logged in. I was about to say.
Oh no! Log in and
Log it in, vote as Wikiboys.
I think I'm still logged in. Yeah, I'm still logged in as Wikiboys.
Wikiboys, vote for teeth.
Yeah, it's a community poll, which is teeth. Thank you for your vote. And the options are yes, please, maybe, and no, thank you.
The winning option is yes, please, with 60 votes.
God, I don't even know where this is.
It's like on the side. I don't.
It's just on the sidebar, yeah.
Oh god, I've opened a different part of the wiki. Where am I?
So I was wondering, I think I should maybe go into the characters from the
Yeah,
Magnus
go
Archives.
wild.
Yeah, characters I think
Okay.
is always the best place to start.
Yes, so our main character is Jonathan Sims, who reads the statements and is also called the archivist. He has a stupid accent, and the first question asked in the Q&A episode was, is that accent real? It is.
It is.
Poor guy. And he is the main character. It's from his perspective. We see everything. We see him slowly becoming more and more unhinged. It is him doing the sexy little moans into the microphone as he suffers. And there is a lot about him, but I have also written down that he is asexual, but that does not stop him from getting fucked by 1 dozen gods and life itself.
I hate that you keep describing it as being fucked by.
Sorry.
It sounds at least.
No, it's just because I know he just he gets wormed.
Yeah, that's the first one.
God, he gets wormed.
What are the other ones?
He gets
There's
wormed.
a section, Rook. There's a section as to what happens to him. Scroll down to marks by entities.
Oh.
So there, he gets wormed, he gets burnt, he dies, and comes back, what else?
No, I'd love if you just stop and don't get it. Like, obviously, it'd be like, oh, he gets resurrected, but it's like, he dies, and then...
He gets put in a dimension which is a physical... Oh, shit, spoilers. He gets put in a dimension which is a physical manifestation of being alone.
Oh.
He goes into a coffin, which leads into a dimension that is basically claustrophobia, and and then there's just a lot of eye stuff. I was going to say that Aster, this podcast is quite heavy on the eye aspect, but there's no actual eye horror.
Debatable.
Yeah, true. Okay, so that's the main character, and then we have the boss of the institute, the Magnus Institute, as is it called. His name is Elias Bouchard. I would describe him as being the character that everyone in the fandom is the horniest for.
Oh, that one, yeah.
That one.
If you remember vaguely, this December, as well as the December of 2018, had a Twitch stream where when they reached a certain donation goal, they allowed for you to submit submissions for Elias Bouchard's voice actor to read. They hit that goal instantly, and he read a couple of things from it. Including this year, my submission. Oh, it's famous.
Oh.
So
what
that's
did you make
two
him
characters.
say?
That's the main character and his boss.
No, what
Then-
did you make him say? I can't remember.
Oh, I made him say I'm too stoned to move.
Oh, okay.
I was actually one of the more safe for work options, believe it or not, and you may not.
I absolutely believe that.
But there was one submission which got in which he... I guess I'll just send it later for something. But yeah.
Okay.
If it's something we could read off, we could read it within.
I guess I actually hang on. I can retell it for you what the submission was. It was. Do you want me to send a clip or do you want me to read it out loud?
Probably read it out loud.
Read it out loud.
Okay, so it's read that statement, John. Read it nice and slow. Oh yes.
No.
Bring
I
the
changed my mind. I changed my mind. I
just
don't want you to
like
remember.
that. Oh yes.
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
But you know, he is doing some sound effects during, which I have not repeated.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And then other characters. Then we have. I should talk about Peter, who
Actually, Milo, can I
oh?
stop you?
Yes.
I want to read some of the shit on Elias's page
Oh
I
god.
would love
because
to,
some
yeah.
of the trivia is fantastic.
Oh boy.
There's very good trivia.
Yes, go ahead.
Elias's D&D class would be a cleric. Because, that's the sort of things that you put in trivia. Ben Meredith, the voice actor for Elias, once has gotten into character by saying, "John, do better," in a disappointed voice. He also reads Toto's Africa in Elias's voice.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that was one of the 2018 submissions, and it's a very intense video that I would say gave me scopophobia.
What? Oh god, is he like staring into the camera while
Yes.
dramatically reading Africa's Toto? What the hell?
Yes, that's exactly
That
what
has some
happens.
hard vibes.
Alex, continue.
Johnny Sims is surprised at how big the fan base for Elias has got. He blames Elias being sexy on Ben Meredith's performance. I like how it's described as blames him for being sexy.
So there is actually in canon a scene where John tries to get
God.
Elias to say something, and Elias goes, "Ooh, tingly."
It's bad!
Oh my god!
I had to like pause the audio because I'm sitting at work, working on code, listening to this
you
in the
need to stop
background.
listening to podcasts while doing things in public.
But yeah, he got very sexy and very popular, and it's all to blame on the voice actor.
God.
Also, one more thing on this page before we move on. Third paragraph of that first little intro section. Elias earned a third-class honors degree in philosophy, politics, and economics. Second sentence of that paragraph, he was also apparently a bit of a pothead in his younger days. Don't know why this is the same paragraph.
That is the most cop way to say that.
Which is which is why I submitted for him to say I'm too stoned to move.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I can't get over. That is the most cop way to say that. Like, I can't. Like, I don't know. He hit.
Yeah,
I guess
hit
the
reefer.
more. Yeah, I exterminated the roach a little bit in my time.
Exterminated the roach.
Oh my god.
Just as a little side note, I have the entities page open, and I'm really into... I knew this already because I'd listened to it a little bit, but I'm really into the way that these things are named. This one up top, which is the buried, also called the center, choke, and too close I cannot breathe. Those bang.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all
it gets
bangs.
better.
Really good.
The way the entities are named are all bangs. And yes, Aster, there is an episode just called Meat.
Oh yeah, I think that's one of the ones... No, wait. Was it? No, it couldn't have been one of the ones I listened to, because that's
No.
at 1:30.
It was absolutely
Why-
terrifying, though.
Ah! Sorry.
Why do... Oh, maybe it's one of the ones I had, like, found and read about.
Aster, you good?
I've never seen a sentence like statement of Lucia Wright regarding a hole filled with meat.
Yeah, it's a bad way to
Yeah.
put it.
That is exactly what that statement is about.
Oh god, I feel like we could literally go through every single episode and read the first line. They're all really good if I remember.
They are. Especially
yeah,
when it
so-
starts getting, like, very abstract.
Yeah, so all of the episodes, all 160 of them, were written by Johnny Sims.
Yes. He's the man.
Single-handedly.
Yeah, he's
He's
powerful.
very strong.
He's very strong. And yeah, no, I don't know how he managed it. But yes, so I have the entities to talk about. One of them being indeed meat and, buried. So I would like to preface by saying there are 14 manifestations of fear called the entities. And these are basically gods that feed off fears.
They're very sexy.
They're
very
kind of sexy. Kind of sexily named. So
Also, I just had a terrible realization that I actually listened to way more Magnus Archives than I thought I did. I'm pretty sure I got up to season 2.
wow.
Whoa.
I recognize all these titles.
So
So-
you listened to John get wormed.
Maybe so. This was like I had listened to Magnus Archives like way before even Milo got into it. Way before even like it like boomed on the internet where like everybody I was following on Twitter suddenly is into Magnus Archives. I think it was like years ago. I was
You
still a
listened
teenager,
before
I
the
think.
gay.
I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I just dropped it because I was like, it's too scary.
You're valid.
Oh, too scary.
I mean, so we can't actually over-exaggerate how, like, alarming some of these are. Like, there are multiple ones where I, like, need to put it down for a hot second because it's just, like, too much.
Well, here's the opening line on the Wikipedia page for Magnus 6, Squirm, which is statement of Timothy Hodge regarding his sexual encounter with Harriet Lee and her subsequent death.
That is the only one I think which ever brings up sex.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, it's implied that one of the people who work at the Magnus Archives is fucking cops for the sake of information, and people had the audacity to say he doesn't work hard.
Holy shit!
You gotta pull up this page.
Alex, what did you say?
Nothing.
Okay.
I said nothing.
Yeah, so should I talk about the characters, or what should we do?
I think we're very interested in talking about the entities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to list the 14 entities for you now.
Go wild.
So there's the buried, the corruption, the dark, the desolation, the end, the eye, the flesh, the hunt, the lonely, the slaughter, the spiral, the stranger, the vast, and the web. All of these at one point or another fuck our main protagonist.
Stop.
It's literally the worst way to describe what happens. Milo.
Your dark, twisted fan fictions.
Welcome to my twisted fanfictions.
Don't joke, the fucking tag is a disaster.
Oh god, it's
I'd imagine.
I can't imagine. People think listening to a horror podcast gives them free reign to just be fucking weird.
Yeah, because it's actually fascinating because the Magnus Archives never resorts to sexual violence or racism or any kind of
That just means people want to do it more because they have to feed themselves.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Nasty.
They're nasty. People are nasty.
But yes.
I've ever owned.
But yeah, so there's 14 entities, which are like fear gods, and the Magnus Archives and Jonathan Sims, they belong to the Eye, or the Beholding, which is kind of like... What?
Belong to?
Belong to.
Yeah, so they are like worshippers of the Eye, which is a god which represents paranoia as well as wanting to know shit.
Huh.
So all of them are very interested in knowing things. The purpose of the Magnus Institute is finding out things, and that's John's job.
Yes. Yeah.
Oof. We can edit this out, but woof.
That's a damning.
I just sent a list of all the ratings.
That's not good.
I mean, at least there's more general audiences in Teen It Up than there is everything else.
Wait, why are we making noises? This looks fine. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Well, let me... Oh, shit. That's not what I wanted to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh boy!
Yeah, shout out to graphic depictions of violence being at least above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ashley, you can decide what to do with that audio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck.
But yeah, no, actually, up until it became gay, the tag wasn't particularly horny. It was like a lot of teen stuff, like as you can see, because there's an incredible 1,500 teen and up audiences.
Yeah.
And I've never seen this kind of ratio before. Let me just use this as therapy hour real quick. This podcast unleashed something dark in me. Remember when I was talking about having written accidentally 32,000 words for something?
Yeah.
That was this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unplanned
I mean, you took like
fanfiction.
extensive notes on the podcast, didn't you?
Yeah, oh god, my document
very
of
useful.
6,000 notes. 6,000 words worth of notes because I didn't realize I didn't have to write synopsis for every single episode.
Yeah.
That's so, like... That's what hyperfixation does to you.
The Magnus Archives made me write 60,000 words worth of notes in 19 days.
Oh god, I forgot it was that short.
Yeah, no, I binged 160 episodes in 19 days.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
why
was
that's why you're an expert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, debatable. I didn't come up with any theories. Like, I see people talking about their theories, and I'm like, huh? You guys thought. You guys were thinking.
Retweet if you don't think.
I mean, you don't necessarily have to make theories on something to be an expert. I would argue, actually, that not making theories on something makes you more of an expert because you're more dedicated to the canon.
Yeah, I guess.
Stairs and What If Dio was good, I use.
Rook, you can't.
I knew you were gonna bring that
You
up.
can't get me started, Rook.
Okay.
I know, Magnus Archives.
I'm gonna steer us back. Let's look at the wiki.
Yeah, okay. So, the wiki. So, yeah, there's 14 entities, fear gods, and John gets sparked by all of them. Like, he literally has a scar from each one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
it's very intentional that he is marked by...
Do you happen to have in memory or a physical list of all the things they have done to him?
There's a physical list. It's on his page. You look at the wiki. It's very good, actually.
Should I go read from it?
Yeah, go wild.
Okay, so marks
Because
from
I only really know about
entities.
the worms.
So web. When John was a dumb child, he was very unpleasant to be around, as he puts himself. He accidentally fed his bully to a huge spider.
Oh god.
Yep.
As for
Accidentally.
no, physically, literally.
Oh, okay.
And then corruption, those are the worms. So yeah, he had a lot of worms.
I don't like that the worms are corruption.
Yeah, corruption is like filth.
Okay.
And the worms they got in him.
Yeah.
There's actually in the Q&A, Johnny Sims talks about, do I think my fixation with pulsating worms burying themselves in skin
that was a common
Freudian
theme
twist?
even in the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, Johnny Sims has some explaining to do.
And then he has the audacity to be like, why is my fandom so horny? Whatever. Like he actually tweeted out some time back, Magnus fandom, I love you, but why are you guys so horny?
Yeah, okay.
Because of you.
Yeah, you.
They're
buddy,
coping.
You
did-
content you are writing.
You did this. This is on you.
Hey man, those fear boners.
Okay, so other marks, the stranger, which is that's one of the parts. So one of his co-workers basically got doppelgangered and tried to kill him.
She's delightfully called. Okay, I want to talk about this because she is delightfully called not Sasha.
Oh, really good.
Yeah, because there's Sasha and not Sasha.
Kill your double.
Yeah, kill your double, except not possible.
No, your double kills you.
Yeah, you're
Oh well.
What else? Spiral. So Spiral is like weird things. If you guys have seen Michael, who had very long hands,
Yeah, I hate him.
that's the Spiral, and it's So first of all, John went into its dimensions, which is like a big labyrinth, but also it stabbed him, and he required 4 stitches, and he claims he cut himself on the bread knife.
Where?
Oh yeah, we don't know.
Oh, okay. You don't know where he got stabbed.
No,
And he just has it with a bread knife.
we just hear him make a noise of pain, like usual, and then we hear that he required 4 stitches.
Oh man, is there a consensus, like a general place that most people in the fandom put that in fan art?
Yeah,
Do you know?
chest, I think.
Oh, okay. I guess that would be the most deadly place to pick, either chest or stomach.
You know, a normal place to get stabbed with a bread knife.
Yeah, right.
And then there is the hunt, which is when there's a character in the Magnus Archives called Daisy. She is a cop who is a terrible person, and this is established. Like, the series says ACAB real quick, and she literally tries to kill him in the woods, and she strangles him in a very audio-loaded scene.
Oh no!
Oh yes,
People got Horby, didn't they?
it got very
And-
Horby.
Oh, I mean, you just hear him whimpering while he's on the forest floor being pinned by
God,
women.
I think you mentioned this.
I can't handle this.
No, it's very much.
I also can't handle that the writer does not seem to understand like the weight of his sins. He's like,
So
why are you guys
allegedly-
so horny? It's look in the mirror, buddy. It's you.
allegedly, the writer, man, and voice actor is aware of the fact that people are mad horny for his voice.
Oh, God.
He wields.
Can you imagine carrying that?
He wields it like a scythe.
If I knew that people were horny for my voice, I'd never speak again.
So another thing, the desolation. I forgot to mention the hunt. So when he got pinned down, he got stabbed in the throat.
Oh,
So he has like a scar across his throat. There is then the desolation, which is kind of like fire and destruction, where he had a butch lesbian shake his hand and burn it.
Yeah.
She's a delight, Jude Perry.
That's how I feel when women, you know?
Oh my god.
Like she actually burned his hand up.
All of it, or like just like the palm?
All of it has severe degree burns.
Ryu, have fun.
He got thoroughly melted.
Was it his dominant hand or his offhand?
Oh, since he shook it, I'm presuming the right hand.
Oh, well, have fun.
And so that's his hand, and then there is the vast. I don't know how to pronounce it with my stupid clunky accent.
Vast.
Which is when he was talking to a guy who has the ability to like disappear into the sky. Oh god, this statement was such a nightmare to listen to because you just hear John gasp and then he doesn't speak for 20 minutes. And
Oh my god! Wait, is it like dead silence?
No, like the guy is giving his statement. The guy who has forced him into basically sky hell, vertigo.
He just sent him into the sky?
Yeah, the last you hear of him is him gasping, and then 20 minutes later you hear him catching his breath, sounding terrified. It was so stressful to listen to.
Wow. God, it'd be so funny though if they like did it so that he still spoke, but it was like really muffled, and it was when he was like almost back to the ground.
God.
Just far away.
Just slowly fade in the audio.
And then there is the slaughter, which was when his coworker Melanie King, she got shot by a ghost, which gave her Angie disease, and then he and a coworker were trying to attempt surgery to remove the bullet from her leg, and she stabbed him.
Sorry. That's so much and so hilarious with not having any experience with it. I got shot by a ghost, and it made me angry, and then my friends tried really hard to remove the bullet.
Yeah, no,
that's exactly what happens.
That's so funny.
That is a beat for beat explanation of what happens.
And
Melanie King is shot by a ghost.
Then there is the end, which is just death, and he died. He went into a coma where he was all but brain dead.
Alright.
And then he came back.
He's better now.
Yeah. And
yeah,
then
he's fine.
Then there is the flesh, which is one of my favorite entities.
It's terrifying.
John, he had to go into the buried dimension to save his friend.
Wait, did you say bird or buried?
Buried.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So there's this coffin, which leads you into a dimension which is basically claustrophobia, like deep underground. And his friend, who is the cop who cut his throat, she's not a cop anymore, it's fine. She ended up in it. And he had to go get her, but he doesn't want to get lost in the buried dimension. So his solution to this is, naturally I have a part of me outside as an anchor. So to do this, he goes to an avatar of the flesh, who is called Jared Hopworth, who is also called the Bone Turner on account of him being able to steal your bones.
Oh, okay.
So he goes to Jared Hopworth, and Jared takes 2 of his ribs out.
Oh.
2 ribs.
Hey, what ones? I wonder what ones.
Yeah, one for him and one for John.
Oh, Rook. I feel like that just like
he goes.
That just like viscerally took me back to like grades, like 5th grade.
Oh yeah, I didn't catch it, but I presume Rook made a joke about being able to blow himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
I'm 12.
And then the buried, so he went into the coffin, left a rib outside so he would be able to make it back. And then there was dark, which is kind of boring, so I'm not going to go into it.
Okay!
And lastly, there's the lonely, which then comes into with Peter, who I think Rook mentioned.
No,
That was me.
Peter, who is not Peter Nureyev.
Peter, who is not Peter Nureyev.
So Peter, who is not Peter Nureyev, is Peter Lucas. He comes from a rich family who worships the Forsaken, which is entity which represents being alone. And God, he's so funny because he's a sailor. he's a sailor, and we know, and allegedly he dresses enough like a sailor for people to notice this, because when they see him, they go, "Oh, you're Peter Lucas," because apparently he's dressed like a sailor.
Oh my god.
And he comes from a rich family, and he traps John in the Lonely when John is trying to find his friend, and that's how he gets all 14 scars.
God.
Yeah.
What a terrible collection.
It is a terrible
he's
collection.
having a very, very bad time.
Yeah, it's really just 160 episodes of John Sims having just the worst time of his life.
Jonathan's terrible adventure.
Yeah. Oh god, it's a JoJo reference. I just fucking got that.
Hey.
Oh, this sure is a bizarre adventure he's going on.
Oh god, I hate.
Oh, I'm trying to figure out if you can make him a JoJo. I don't think you can make him a JoJo.
No.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna go into this. We're not talking about JoJo. I don't know anything about JoJo.
It's just if he has two Joes in his name, he can be a JoJo, which he doesn't.
He only's got one Joe.
Okay, so yeah, that's the entities. That's so it's 160 episodes of him having a horrible time, and he has the scars for this. John is never he is never physically described, but despite this, we have everyone who draws him the same.
It's very interesting to me when that happens.
Yeah, and my guess would be that someone drew him, and people were like, "Oh, he looks like this, so I'm just gonna draw him like this."
Yeah,
they
it's
describe him
probably
in the
that
show.
someone's specific design got popular, and people were just like, "Oh, well, that's what he looks like."
Yeah, I assume it was somebody early on.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm back on Jonathan Sims' page. So Alias is John Sims, the archivist, the archives. He is them now.
You haven't gotten to the final. It's explained them.
Yeah. I assume that's something I'll figure out, but
I
He's
really
a
like
ghost.
I like this mention on his physical appearance. I'm going to read it aloud. Several
Please do.
characters have called him little, but it's unclear if this is a reference to his stature or a condescending insult. Additionally, in Mag 79, John comments that the pipe he has been carrying is useless for defense, as he's getting tired by just holding it. John could be physically smaller or just weaker than Elias, who has no trouble using it.
Twank.
he's manlet.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna,
I really hate that you just
what?
assigned him Twink.
yeah. I mean, when I asked you haven't heard him, and maybe Alex disagrees with me, but there's a couple of episodes where you hear him, like, whimper and do things, and it's like, oh, yeah, makes sense.
It was also like, I don't know if we've talked about Martin yet.
Oh,
No, you haven't.
I think we should talk about Martin because he's also fun.
Oh boy.
okay,
And I'm
okay.
gonna just spoil myself, and it's gonna be fine.
Oh no.
Okay, so Martin Blackwood is one of the secondary characters in the Magnus Archives. My introduction to him was seeing him written about and talked about and being like, God, why are they making this guy into such a subby dweeb? And then I heard his voice.
Yeah,
Does he sound like a nerd?
he
Oh
sounds
my
like a
God.
nerd.
It's like, oh, hi. It's more nasal, like, hi, can I help you with something? Like, kind of like that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
He is, I'm just gonna say it, he is in love with John.
I mean, aren't they like canon?
From season 1.
It's quite unfortunate.
He
What?
has,
Wait.
No, he's just a disaster. He's a mess.
Oh,
he
yeah.
has never been described physically. The only visualizer is given in Mag 22, when Martin describes himself as not exactly the smallest guy in the world. Given that he's referring to climbing through a window, it's likely he's referring to his weight rather than his height. Martin is
that's
at
why you
least
draw him
implied
big.
to be less skinny than Melanie. So yeah,
there is actually...
You gotta read the rest of it. You gotta read the rest of it.
This is my favorite. So, Martin is stated to look almost exactly like his father, whose appearance is unknown, which I think is incredibly funny. Oh yeah, I look just like my dad, said a man in an audio medium. And it has as much weight as me saying I look like my dad.
it has some importance in the in the series.
Oh,
And
I'm sure, but as a clue about appearance, it's functionally useless.
you're also forgetting the last part, which is when compared to Martin, Basira called Tim the hot one, implying he's not the hot one and he's the cute.
I love that so much. Yeah, the hot one.
My favorite thing about narrative podcasts is always trying to piece together what a character could possibly look like. It's the best.
Yeah, so for Martin, most people draw him kind of large, kind of broad. Almost everyone gives him glasses.
Every
He's a nerd.
time I see him, he either looks like either a spitting image or like a race bend of like Sherlock John Watson.
I'm gonna kill you.
It's the vibes I get. It's the vibes I get.
Gonna walk down.
Oh,
to
you mean
Kentucky,
BBC Sherlock?
fucking strangle you.
Yeah,
Goddamn.
yeah. Yes, I do mean BBC Sherlock, yeah.
Yeah, no, I got that.
No.
Whenever I see your art of Martin Milo, I look at him and I think, oh, that's what Milo wants to look like.
It's unfortunately not too far off because like there's not that many options when you're a white guy with glasses and a soft jaw. There's really not that many options.
Oh my god.
A lot of people draw him with a ginger beard, which I hate. But generally, I tend to draw him like his voice actor looks, but like 50 pounds heavier and with glasses.
Oh god.
God.
Why do you hate the ginger beard?
Oh, because it's bad.
That's honestly the biggest fandom mood. Why do you hate it? Because it's bad.
Yeah,
Also, it
word.
just doesn't... I know this is a podcast, so I can't exactly show videos, but can I just send like a clip of him talking to you guys so you can understand what he sounds like?
Sure.
Okay.
Please do.
I mean, the audio could always be cut into the episode.
Oh, that would be lovely. Or who knows?
Which either Aster could do or I could do after the facts.
Hang on, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, I could probably handle that.
While you're doing that, I want to read just like the synopsis of what happens to him in season 1
Go
because
ahead.
it is written in such a way. Martin is frequently mentioned alongside other archival assistants during statement follow-ups. He gets trapped in his apartment by Jane Preenis by the end of February to March 12th, when he returns to the archives and gives a statement. On John's suggestions, he moves into the archives.
Oh my god, he just lives there?
He just lives there.
Yeah.
Oh god! Does John live in the archives?
Nope.
He might as well.
He might as well. Like, he doesn't sleep, but...
Okay. That's very funny that he's like, hey, come live here, bye.
I'm gonna send. I've started at yeah,
Come
here.
live in our terrible haunted house of a workplace.
It's better than his house, which is infested by a woman who stole his phone, but is also full of worms.
Oh, that Martin. Yeah, I've heard him.
God.
Martin, are you sure about this?
I just want to make a statement about what happened to me. I mean, it's what we do.
Oh yeah, he does sound little.
Yeah.
Like, energy-wise. He sounds like he has small vibes. Small uwu bean vibes.
Yeah. So I would.
So that one's for you, Aster.
Thanks,
Aster,
Sarah
have you
Lee.
heard it yet?
Yes, I would also agree that he does have sort of small
Say
dweeby
it.
vibes.
Yeah, he does.
He sounds like a character that would absolutely get woobified by the fandom.
He writes poetry.
Okay, yeah.
He writes poetry, and it is, like, commented upon multiple times. Is it in the trivia section?
Probably.
Oh, God, please.
Oh, God. Okay, let me just read some of this stuff, because it's...
Martin's poetry is available as bonus content on the Rusty Quill Patreon. It's written by the lovely Anil Godegamove, a Rusty Quill's community manager, and Johnny has described it as aggressively mediocre.
Oh my god, wait! He read one on stream!
Yes,
Oh
he did.
my god.
And I must say that it is also known that he records his poetry on the tape recorders because he likes the lo-fi charm.
Oh my
Oh my god.
You
That
get
is
to
a
hear it
verbatim
once.
quote.
You get to
He's
hear just the
good.
very beginning of it once, and it's so good.
I like him.
He's
Yeah, I like
very likable. You know who doesn't like him?
John.
So John, the first few seasons, but also his voice actor, who's kind of holding Martin hostage towards the fandom.
Does he hate him?
Yeah, he's like, I hate Martin. Be nice to me or I'm killing him next season.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I cannot imagine playing a role you despise.
Or he's explained he doesn't like him the first 2 seasons because he's a little too dweeby and unimportant and stupid.
Too ooey bean.
But Martin, he dams up in season 4. I'm just gonna say this. Hey, I'm just gonna say this. Let me get close to the mic so no one in my family will hear this. There was an increase of Martin topping fix in season 4, but there wasn't before. Like the moment he starts taking control of his life and acting a little bossy, that's when people started writing him topping.
God.
I want to read some of the comments on Martin's page because I think
I
they're
would
very
love
funny.
if you did.
Oh my god, I didn't even think to look at the comments.
Oh my god, these are all so good!
Beautiful boy who deserves the world.
Martin.
Does he know that I would die for him because I would? I want him to have a
So
gun and
many
also go to therapy.
No. Alex, you skipped this one. So many avatars down to fuck this poor man.
Oh, Martin, so basically I'm baby. Oh my god, this is...
I am a simple man. I think about Martin and I fall in love.
Oh, John's comments are also really good.
Oh, I didn't even think about
The worms ate his
I
remaining
would
brain
like
cells.
for you to read the comments on Elias Bouchard's page.
Oh.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't
I'm
want
running.
to.
Okay, I'll read them then.
I'm going.
I'll read them then. Elias Bouchard broke into my house and called me a slur. Epic divorce man.
Oh, is Elias the one that is like the relationship with another dude is described as being on their 4th divorce or whatever?
Yes! It's with Peter.
God, these are all so funny. Elias Bouchard.
Elias is an anti-vaxxer.
Elias Bouchard is a flat earther.
Awful bastard man. I will take compensation for my emotional damages with sexy monologues. Kin.
Elias Bouchard is a
hot
climate
voice bitch.
change denier.
God.
These comment sections are so good.
Yeah, what else did I want to say? So I would like to get into Elias Bouchard and
Wait,
Peter
hang on.
Lucas.
I want to read this next one. Can we please get a moment of silence for the OG weed man, Elias? Alright, go on.
Okay, so as Rook mentioned, there is Elias Bouchard has a fandom gag in which we talk in running joke about him being in a relationship, or rather being thrice divorced, working on his 4th from Peter Lucas.
Yes, that's what it was. It's so funny describing a relationship that way.
Yeah, and it was described this way by a fan in the chat Discord, and then Johnny Sim said, I've never really thought to describe it like that, but when you put it like that, you're kind of right.
It's so simple, and it tells you all you need to know about that dynamic immediately.
Unfortunately, I'm super into them on the account of being 2 evil old men who hate but also like each other.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I had to go check out Peter Lucas's comments. I just love gentle voiced old man, I love you, and reply by the same person. Yes, he's evil. No, I don't care.
Okay, so actually in the Patreon only Q&A, they talked about Johnny talked how he was expecting people to hate Peter Lucas, but his voice actor is just this very charming old fat man with like a slightly northern accent who is very much like a merry sailor. It's kind of wonderful. So everyone likes him because of it. Because much like with Elias, the voice actors completely changed the character.
Yes. Even in anything where audio is involved, the voice will absolutely make or break your character. Mm-hmm. Because voice actors always bring so much to the way you then further develop that character, and it's always so interesting to me, and I wish that my characters could have voices so I could work better.
Can I was gonna ask, are we... Yes! Aster has gotten a picture of him. Yeah, that's him.
He's so trustable.
He does look very gentle.
He's a wonderful guy.
This man
I would like to...
could never hurt me.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a picture of his and Elias voice actor interacting.
Oh god, I know you've shown us Elias's voice actor, but I can't remember exactly
Oh, God,
what he
where
looks
is
He's
it?
got a mustache.
Oh, yeah. So I've described him as if a McElroy brother was lost in Britain and went to twink camp.
Yeah!
Oh yeah, that one!
God, everything about him is too much. Like the snake belt buckle, the thumbs in the pockets, the t-shirt poking out from the button down.
The fact he's in the middle of a walkway.
Yeah.
If you guys, this is the
Blocking
guy. If
foot
you
traffic.
you guys remember me talking, I'm getting kind of gay vibes from this guy, and then I went on his LinkedIn, and it was like he had a master's in creative writing, and he had attended several queer theory courses in university.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah. Oh.
Here's a picture of him and Peter's voice actor. It's a good image.
Oh my god. Okay.
God, where are they?
I don't know.
Looks like it might.
Oh God! I gotta get a picture of them with
I hate
Martin's
this
voice actor.
fucking chin strap that he has going on. It's so ugly.
Terrible. I don't even know. Is there like a name for that type of facial hair?
Ugly.
Bad.
Bad and ugly.
So here is Peter Lucas, Martin Blackwood, and Elias Bouchard.
God.
Oh my god.
Really good.
Tiny.
Martin's voice actor is very small. And he's also the director for the show.
Yeah, I assumed that John and Martin's voice actors were the main dudes.
Oh my god.
Stupid.
I can't get over it.
Stupid.
Like, this chin strap looks like he should be in like a steampunk outfit 24/7.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny you mentioned that
should
because
have a
Johnny
fucking top
Sims
hat.
has a steampunk band which recently
God.
played its last show the 22nd of January.
Oh my god, no wait, I think I saw something about that.
The mechanisms.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes, I saw people tweeting about the death of the mechanisms. Oh my god. And I was like, wait, one of these dudes is the Magnus Archives dude?
It is very funny because Johnny Sims looks. I actually have a diagram of what Johnny Sims looks like. Let me go get it.
The diagram.
Oh my god.
Yeah. God, I have 1 second. I have a lot of group chats that I'm checking the pins of because I'm very popular. Here we go. Here is a diagram of what Johnny Sims looks like.
Oh my god.
Someone describe this image.
Okay, so on the far left we have a picture of Jack Nicholson from his very famous scene from The Shining, as he's poking his head through, going, "Here's Johnny." To the right of that, after a plus sign, we have a picture of William Shakespeare. And then these two together become a picture of Johnny Sims as he is looking into the camera, making the face of the devil, and holding a glass of champagne.
He looks like he's gonna murder me.
He looks like the devil.
Oh my god.
Okay. All right. While we go down this rabbit hole, I want to completely ignore this rabbit hole and talk about list of books.
Yes.
Okay.
Because some of the books, the descriptions are absolutely incredible. I've linked this page like 3 times now.
Would you like to first explain what the books are?
So, as opposed to just explaining it, I think it's better if we just let people try to figure it out from the Wikipedia page. So I'm just going to read some things.
Yes.
This is a list of books with powers that have been mentioned and or encountered in the podcast. It is not known how many exist, although Jorgen Leitner has mentioned having, I can't read this number.
978.
Yeah, there we go. they are often referred to by characters by the Lighteners, whether or not they were actually in his library.
Yeah.
In general, the books are more powerful than any other supernatural artifact, although individual books may range from innocuous to unsettling to murderous.
Yeah, they're like cursed or whatever.
Yeah, they're pretty much cursed books, but sometimes have people in them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Jurgen has a stand.
Yeah, Jurgen has a book stand.
Fuck you.
It's not strictly correct, but we'll go with it. Mostly because I just want to read the very last entry on this list of books.
Yeah.
Book that eats you. Author unknown, language unknown. What is this last column here? In the library? Yes. A book that eats you may leave behind a leg.
What?
Okay.
8 Leitner Library Assistant Warren, inciting then fellow assistant Michaela Solisas to start looking to leave.
Start looking to leave.
Hey, this book ate a guy, I'm out.
This book ate a guy. I'm gonna, update my LinkedIn.
God.
That is how it is, though.
So because this is a audio-only podcast, Jurgen Leitner is voiced by Johnny Sims' father, because at the time of recording, they didn't know a lot of older people.
Oh my god.
The archivist before John, Gertrude Robinson, who is kind of regarded in the fandom as a stone cold gilf. She was voiced by Johnny Sims' mother, and he is not happy that people are horny for her.
Oh no!
Oh god.
Oh, no.
The concept of somebody being horny for my parents is literally the most mortifying thing I can think of.
I know.
Okay, I want to go back to the list of
Strangers on
books.
the internet.
I
Yeah.
want to go back to the list of books because there is the book Komu ga Tamake Iru, translated to The Spiders Are Coming. The language is presumably Japanese.
Oh yeah, presumably.
Presumably.
God, of course you went to this, you weeb.
Alex, it's actually spiders are eating, not spiders are coming.
Oh, I can't read.
No, you can't.
I really...
Spiders are coming is actually a very different vibe, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spiders Are Eating is very much like, fuck buddy, they sure are.
A movie may or may not have existed based upon it. Unconfirmed if title and language of book match this movie.
Okay.
Guys, I'm kind of tired. Are we gonna call?
Yeah, we
it
can wrap up
quits?
soon. We have an hour or so.
Yeah, we do. I checked my phone.
You are
Hi,
so
future
valid.
Aster.
I was just really...
Do you have
really-
anything you'd like to end off on?
So the Magnus Archives is a podcast for you if you are really gunning for, if you really can stand hearing 40 episodes of a guy just reading and having a terrible time. It gets better, actually. It's very well written. It also gets gay later. But otherwise, I think it's quite lengthy.
I'm pretty sure the reason most people picked it up is because, it has gays in it, huh?
That's kind of why I did it. Actually, I did it because I found out that there's an evil twink which can read minds, and that fucking got me. They got me, gal.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was a episode. I'm glad we finally got to have a guest. It's very fun.
Yeah, I'm very
We'll
really
definitely
happy
have
you,
to do this again later.
I'm really happy you gave us a tour. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Aw, you guys are nice.
Yes.
This was fun.
Our tour of the archives.
Oh, Miley, before you go, do you want to mention how you kinned John for a week?
Oh yeah. So briefly, I listened. This may or may not be edited out earlier on, but I mentioned listening to the Magnus Archives in 19 days, from October to November. I then in January got a job in which I archived. I worked as an archivist at a small Gothic building in Stockholm, working under one of Sweden's richest women. My job consisted of reading articles and gluing them into a scrapbook, and that was what I did for... worth mentioning, I did this in the attic, and at the end I got paid a jar of honey.
Yes.
Yeah.
None of this is a lie or an exaggeration.
God.
And didn't it take, like, somebody else mentioning it for you to realize, like, oh,
Yeah, because I
I'm
told
Johnny.
my friend, and I told my friend, and he was like trying to figure out how to spin it into a more professional sounding way than I'm scrapbooking for a company. And he said, so archiving and documenting the history of the company. And I realized,
God. I'm an
Yeah.
archivist. Well, at least you didn't get wormed.
yeah, at least I didn't
No
get fucked
worms
to death by worms.
oh boy.
Well, this has been Wikiboys.
This has been
You can find us on Twitter at WikiboysPod, and you can find me on Twitter at Twigwing.
You can find me on Twitter at Alex Mostly Okay.
You can find me on Twitter at Nerd of Goodness.
You can find me on Yahoo at hot, young, ready. No, I can't make this joke. Find me somewhere. I don't know if I'm. I don't know. I'll
We'll
maybe
post your Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, you do that if I want to. Otherwise,
Okay.
you have to track me down.
Yeah, we'll decide once this gets edited and uploaded whether you want to put yourself in the description or not.
This was fun. This was great.
Yeah.
This was very fun.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Thank you
This
for
has been
having me.
Wikiboys. Yeah. This has been Wikiboys, and we'll fix it in post.
The music used in this episode is Quirky Dog by Kevin MacLeod, found at incomptech.com and used under the Creative Commons license.